Hello everyone, I'm back to do another video. This is my sixth video for my sixth calculator that I've designed, and I have plans to do another 9 of them, but all this is basically still in its inception, so I just want to put some out there and then see if I can get some kind of response or feedback on it and get a feel for it. Okay, so what I have here is, I call this the B1 band, the B1 kick. Okay, and this is a great little uh, kick to do in parallels, because after you lay out your first conduit, your first kick, all the rest of your conduits are identical to it. So they'll all start at the same place. They'll all start and end at the same place, which is really great for doing parallels, to have everything even, because that's what parallels are required, everything to be even. So also, the spread and the spacing are the same. So that's just something a little bit easier to keep it in your head when you're trying to do the layout, doing any kind of you know looking ahead kind of thing, or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the first one, and that's it. There's your first conduit. Now that's and I'm gonna say this: it's not the easiest thing in the world to get all this stuff right. It looks simple, and just put a piece of bend on a pipe on a 90. That's it. But to match all this stuff up, you got straight legs you're dealing with here. You've got your diagonal length. You've got your angle. What's your angle? Where do you place that bender on the pipe? You're using the beginning of the bend to place the bend exactly where it needs to be, and then after that, try to make all this work out to a tail stub here, to exactly where you want it. It's pretty tricky, I'll tell the truth, but that's what this calculator does, and that's the first thing it overcomes. So the next thing is if you want to do thing in parallel, that for this type of bend, all you're going to have is, for the parallels, because your bends are identical, you just have this little spread to choke calculator here, because with this is similar to the B2, is that these bends choke up as you increase this kick bend angle. This choke distance is going to start decreasing on you. So it's you have to watch out and make sure as you increase your angle that you still have enough center to center space for your conduits. So that's kind of like the only little downside to this bend. But I mean, for this one, it's not so bad. You could just increase your spread. So, but it's just a tool to help you stay on track. So okay, so don't, and this next button, all this does on this calculator, it's associated with this adjustment here. If you're going to change something in your original numbers here, then it's going to give you the tail adjust for the conduit. And I designed this program kind of like the offset, because these bends are some, so to speak, independent of each other. So I added some more flexibility into this program. So and you can change your conduits and figure out this tail adjust for for even lengths, or as a reference. Okay, so if I wanted to change something, nothing. Okay, let's go, because nothing changes in this at all unless you change something. Okay, so if we change the radius, put it in there. Okay, okay, more radius, more gain. This bend gained 4.37 because this is a positive value. Positive value means it's a gain. Okay, and it also generated a negative here. That tells you you got a problem right there. You don't have enough space here for that bend, so that's a problem. The other thing is your start changed here, because it changed. If you change the radius, you're changing these straight legs. So that's these changes, you gotta, they play out somewhere. So you gotta just kind of play around with them a little bit, and maybe modify your adjustments sometimes if necessary. Okay, but it gained here 4.37. Let's go ahead and put it back. We had a 4.37 gain. Okay, if we're doing the next pipe, and this is a little bit of the tricky part of this. This one gained 4.37. You put it back, and it goes right back to your zero. So this pipe, this next pipe you just did, if you wanted to keep it to the same place as your first pipe, you don't have to do nothing. The adjustment's zero. Okay, so because that's what it's doing. It's going back basically to your first pipe. But if you get a negative value, then you got to adjust every pipe. So it's you have a prior shortest line that you got to work to, and if you start getting negative values, and I'll show you like this. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the offset, which means I have more shrink. So if I hit the next button, now I shrank. Now what happens means that all my previous conduits, I have to go back through and deduct this increment right here. And this is why I didn't, when I do the out buttons on these other programs, I didn't, I just zeroed them out, and I just moved from the inside to the out, because generally you'll have a gain and you can just go from pipe to pipe and subtract it, because these can be really just kind of almost useless and pointless and aggravating. Okay, so let's go ahead and take and what happens is that negative 2.6, that restarted the whole adjustment line where the adjustment line's at. It reset it. So, and then if I took the offset out, less offset, less offset is less shrink, which the end result is a gain. Okay, so now I'm starting to add up again. These gains are adding up. So if I go ahead and do a 5-inch offset to it, then it's going to add that half of that 2.36 to a 3.54. See, so they'll start adding up, and if you're going that way with it, you can just say this conduit, if I trim it off 3.54, then I'm good. So that's how they work. So it's a little tricky, and I do need to do a video specifically on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and just, I'm going to go ahead and now do this. Oh, let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to reset the calculator. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and just change the radius. I think I did that. Okay, I changed those. Okay, so I'm going to change it to 20, and I'm going to change my offset to 20. Okay, and so with this I had a 4.37 gain. With this I had a negative 2.36 shrink. Okay, so if I changed them both, well, I have to just take the difference of those values, and it's a 2.01. So it's just the difference. So and changing both of these caused two changes to this: the change in the straight legs, the change in the runs. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back and reset everything, and let's just change everything this time. Okay, so let's go ahead here and let's change this, and then let's go ahead and change the angle too. Okay, and it's because this is a next, I'm not going to start and hit my start button. This is a next conduit, so it's going to give me this tail adjustment on this for all these changes from my first conduit. And it's going to change this, and because this angle changes, it's going to change the length of this arc length of this of the bend right here, and it'll just filter downstream through all this stuff. Okay, so if I just go next, boom, there. So that's my tail adjust. It gained based on all these changes right here. Okay, so I'm not going to sit and try to crunch all this stuff up. In this stuff, it's really not going to add anything. But see that value there, it changed. So a lot of changes. So I'll say that. Okay, so I think that's about all I'm going to put into this video right here. It's getting a little bit long, I guess. I try to keep them short. Nobody likes long videos. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.